Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failure. In our last video, we tackled the Asuka mission called Bait. Next up is Espresso-2-go. I'm going to point out one thing to pay attention to in the cutscene. Asuka is going to talk about something called the Kappa Coffee House. Kappa Coffee House. Just make a mental note of the name Kappa because we'll be talking about it in a few minutes. The premise of this mission is that we need to go destroy nine coffee stalls because they're not actually the Colombians running those stalls are not actually selling coffee. They're distributing spank, and Asuka can't have that. So we need to destroy nine coffee stalls, and they're spread out over the three islands. We've got 8 minutes altogether, but the timer doesn't start until you destroy your first stall, wherever that stall is. So in my vanilla attempt, which we're going to watch here, I'm going to speed up some of the uneventful driving. If you pass this mission, you make $40,000 and you unlock the final Asuka mission of the game called Sam, or more specifically S period, A period, M period. Casually, I think this mission is way too hard. The stall locations should be marked on the minimap the entire time. You can see there's one green dot on the map, but there's 9 stalls spread out, and the only time the green dots show up is if you're close enough to a particular stall. And I think that just makes it too difficult. The 9 minute timer, you're actually going to see here that I'm not going to have all that much time left over at the end. I think that the stall should be marked on the map the entire time, at least until you destroy, a stall, and then it should be here. Okay, so when I speed run this game, I do the stalls in a different order than I'm doing here. So the first stall I'm going to do here, make this U-turn to the right, and instead of going all the way up the stairs to near the subway, you can just use your rocket to destroy this one from a bit farther away. And at some point in St. Mark's, I'm going to have some difficulties with the route just because it's a different route than I normally take. So I kind of lose control of my vehicle and I get in trouble with the mafia. It's just because this is not my typical order. So when I speedrun this game, in addition to destroying these 9 stalls, I also move 3 specific vehicles around. And it's a good opportunity to do that because certain vehicles need to move from one island to the other. And in this mission, you cover all 3 islands. And so when I speedrun the game, I take an FBI car that I had already stored in my Staunton garage and I deposit it at the import-export crane at Portland Docks. Then I take a fixed Mafia Sentinel from St. Mark's and bring it to my garage in Staunton for later use in the mission Gang Car Roundup. We've already done that mission here, but when I speedrun the game, I do this mission before Gang Car Roundup. And then while I'm in Shoreside, which is the last island for me on this mission, I look for a Sentinel, not a Mafia Sentinel, but just a plain old Sentinel to bring to the Shoreside import-export garage, which is just around the corner from the stall we just destroyed at the hospital. Casually, I don't care for this mission. I think it's too long and boring, but I do like the mission when I speedrun it because I appreciate the efficiency of moving those 2 or 3 cars around, which makes it feel like I'm not, kind of like wasting as much time because I'm doing other tasks while I'm on this mission. So here's the first sign of trouble. I start getting shot at by the mafia. I decided I didn't want to stick around and shoot the stall with my rocket. So I come back here, and it turns out you can, if you go up on top of the hill and on top of your car, you can shoot the top of the stall with the rocket. So that's what we're going to do here. And then I'll grab one of the Mafia Sentinels just because my car is already dinged up. Okay, so let's read a little bit from the wiki in terms of the trivia for this mission. After the destruction of the first stall in Shoreside Vale, the cartel cruiser will start ramming the player's car in an effort to stop Claude. The men inside will carry Uzis. So we didn't see that here on this attempt, and I didn't see it on any of my attempts at this mission, but I have seen it before while running the game. Again, from the wiki, this is possibly one of the hardest missions in the entire GTA series. To make this mission easier, the developers changed the pump-action shotguns used by the Mafia into Uzis, which makes it easier to destroy the St. Mark's stall. In addition, gangs that are usually hostile towards Claude will instead attack the cartel member in the coffee stall, putting less stress on the player when smashing the stalls in St. Mark's and Newport. And you actually saw that when we did the stall up in St. Mark's. One of the guys in the Mafia was shooting at the Colombian in the stall. Non-hostile gangs like the Yakuza will also attack the cartel member in the coffee stall in Torrington. The same change appeared earlier in this game in the mission Big and Veiny if the player starts that mission after having completed Sayonara Salvatore. So we didn't start Big and Veiny after Sayonara Salvatore, so we didn't see that, but it's a nice programmatic decision. Okay, the cartel members inside the espresso-to-go stalls usually wield Uzis, but some will be armed with shotguns. According to, okay, that's good. We'll get to this last piece of trivia soon enough. All right, so as we continue destroying stalls, we got 5 kills out of 9. I was actually kind of concerned about the time here because I really did not do this efficiently on my vanilla attempt. Bam, long range. Okay, so 3 stalls left, a minute and a half, and the last 2 stalls are all 3 of the stalls are on um, shore side, so they're close to each other and they're close to me. So we'll get there. Okay, so while we're wrapping up here, I'll just read a tiny bit more about Catalina. Just a little bit of the history from San Andreas. Catalina is of mixed Mexican, Dominican, and Colombian descent. She began her criminal career activities some point prior to 1992 when she met CJ in San Andreas at the recommendation of her cousin, Cesar Villalpando. Um, okay, and the two became romantically involved, although in CJ's case, that's putting it mildly, with Catalina putting Carl through an extreme form of BDSM before committing a robbery. Notice the slight delay here between destroying the last stall and the mission pass. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they do that. It seems like a little bit of a bug. But anyway, mission passed, easy enough. Okay, so then I wanted to, all right, so I'm saving the game here, and that's where we're going to pick up in our next video, is that save point. Remember that Asuka called the coffee company the Kappa Coffee House, but the signage on the stands doesn't reference that name at all. The stands all say espresso to go. From the wiki, the espresso to go logo depicts a steaming cup of espresso. The go is stylized to form a coffee cup shape with the G as the handle of a coffee cup, and the 2 portrays the steam above it. So how else can you destroy these stalls? Well, you can ram into them. Usually, I don't know why this one didn't break. It's a big, heavy vehicle I've got. I don't know if that's a bug or what, but you should be able to destroy this thing by ramming into it, and I couldn't. Okay, so we're going to keep trying other things to use to destroy. M16 doesn't work. The drive-by doesn't work. The stalls do not catch on fire. So you can see the fire just goes right through them. And then the last thing we'll try here is a grenade, and it will work. You could also blow up a vehicle right next to a stall, and that would blow up the stall as well. Next, I wanted to know if that fire was going to hurt Claude, like the fire in the opening cutscene, the introductory cutscene to the game was fake, but this fire is burning. Don't touch it. How long does the fire stay on? Well, it stays on all the way until the end of the mission. And we're going to see the fail state for running out of time, and also the fire will go out at the end of this mission. The cartel have warned their pushers. Yes, they have. Okay, and then I wanted to know how long this stall sticks around. And so it turns out it sticks around as long as you're in the area, and I guess you have a line of sight of the stall. So I'm just going to turn away. It's still there. And then by the time I get into this manana, the stall will have disappeared. So it doesn't stick around for long. But it's interesting that the fire goes out immediately at the end of the mission. Okay, so my challenge was to pass this mission with the tank, but it would be too easy to just ram into everything with the tank. The tank is largely indestructible, so I'm only allowed to use my ammo from the turret, which is tougher because that means I have to get the sort of altitude of my shot, the elevation of my shot, right? So I'm going to skip almost all of the driving here. I'll just show you me blowing up every one of these stalls and get some. So this was pretty straightforward because the tank is overpowered. I had some trouble with the angle here. I had to kind of use the stairs to my advantage and shoot at the right time so that I could hit the stall. But we got there after a few attempts, and I passed this challenge after just my first attempt here. So easy enough. So what do we have here? 4 left. Get some. That one I think is easier because I probably just hit the wall behind the stall, and then the explosion from the ammo hitting the wall exploded the guy and his stall. I felt bad for that Colombian member because he must have been really uncomfortable with the tank, 10 feet away and a turret slowly rotating in his direction. All right, this one had a little trouble as well, but eventually got there. It's just because I usually aim, it's just too high. Okay, and then last stall is right up here. And mission passed. Didn't have a lot of time left for like 13 seconds there, but it all worked out. Okay, so here was another question I had. Could I destroy a single stall with my RC car? So off video, I tried ramming into this stall with the RC car at full speed, and the RC car bounced off like the little toy that it is. So my two other ideas both involved getting police attention and either blowing up a police car right next to a stall or getting a police car to ram into a stall while they're chasing me, which is what just happened there. And then I'm gonna fast forward. Oh, the stall moves. Like that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And then, but the fire stays. Watch when I rotate my camera around. You see the fire is back in the original place, even though the stall has moved. So it's a floating fire. Rockstar. All rockstar. Okay, I'm going to cut this drive here, but the drive is easy because the guys just missed me, and that was perfect. I just got there and then was chased by this FBI car, and he rammed into the stall. So I've already taken a lot of damage in this RC car, and believe it or not, they can blow up. But we're going to leave you with a final image from this video of a game crash while Claude is being busted by an FBI agent in a car that's on fire. This is perfectly on brand for my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.